This goes for competitive athletes of every nature, no different for shooting. You drop that round, you have a bad moment. I don't care if it's a physical thing, whatever. The guys and gals that can't get past that, and then they're tanked after that, versus the people that can just drop it. Talk to me about that,
dude. If I could go back to 16-year-old me and talk about this, I would kill for it, right? Because you drop that round, what's the first thing that everybody tells you? Don't worry about it, man. Don't think, just let it go. Don't worry about it, right? Can you tell me how to not do something? We can't even put into words how to not do something. So that probably shouldn't be my first course of action, right? So every time I get a chance to talk to you guys about this, that is not the plan, right? Because I can't even articulate how to not do something. So we're going to respond. We're not going to react. Everybody's going to make mistakes. It's not only part of the process, it's part of the plan, right? If you're not making mistakes, it is because you are not being challenged. So I tell everybody, if we're going shooting, you're going to screw up. You're going to make some bad shots, because if you're not, I'm not pushing you hard enough for you to learn anything. And to go back just a little bit in your questioning, when I go and I say I shoot a target, and I shoot 30 rounds on that target, they were all supposed to be in the A zone. 4 of them were in the C zone, right? I go down and I look at that target. What do those 26 shots that are in the middle tell me? What they really tell me is what I do works. I already know what I do works, right? I got a bunch of shiny little trinkets that say all this stuff works, right? Those 4 rounds that were in the C zone instead of the A zone, those are my opportunity to learn something. So when I see those 4 shots that are not in the middle, most people are like, oh, I freaking suck. I dropped a shot. It's like, well, yeah, that's the reason we're here. Like, I'm here to learn something. And fundamentally, learning something is change, right? So if you're not open to change, you do not need to train, because you're going to resist valuable, obvious, true knowledge, because you're trying to basically create an environment that just reinforces what you believe, which is wrong. So training is change. Bad shots are the reason that we're there, and it is our opportunity to learn. So was it bad? Yes. Is it it's bad in a technical sense. It's not bad in a fundamental sense. We're there for those shots. But what is bad is to see those shots and not learn something from them. So now we need to assess the shots, and there's a million ways of doing that, right? But how do we get over that bad shot? We're going to look at the situation, and we're going to honestly analyze what the real cause of that bad shot was. And so I had a buddy, we were at a national championship one time. He goes out there, shoots the long range portion, right? And we're shooting 10-inch plates at like 300 to 400 meters, and we're shooting them off barricades, and the barricades suck. So he comes off, and he was actually leading by about 35 points over 9 stages on a 12-stage event. So he had basically been winning by an average of 4 points, and he comes off and he had lost his lead. He basically went down to a 0. And so I'm like, hey, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I freaking suck. I'm like, well, I can't fix that, right? That's too big a problem for us to overcome today, right? He's like, well, I don't know, man. He's like, and he did. He crushed everything. He's like, I just suck at long range. Like, the dude is a qualified sniper. He is objectively a champion level long range rifle shooter that people bring in to teach long range that are professionals, right? Like, he is a good long range rifle shooter. So I'm like, hey man, like, that's not true either, right? So like, what? And I watched him shoot, so I knew what the problem was. And so I just keep asking him these questions, and I'm like, okay, could it possibly be? And so what I said was, was your rifle zeroed? He's like, well, yeah. I'm like, did you know the hold to the target? Yeah. Okay. Were you able to hold the target? He goes, well, no. I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe it's not that you're a bad human being and you suck at life, or that you're bad at a long range. Maybe it's just that you're too undisciplined to gain a stable firing position, right? I can fix that, and I can fix that quickly, right? So then I look and I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do to fix that? Well, we're going to go back, and when we train, we're going to put a 3-inch shooting C up at 100 yards, and we're going to set a 4-second par time, and you're going to drop into a kneeling supported position until you can hit that shooting C 9 out of 10 times. And he's like, okay. I'm like, you can do that now if you would just choose to do it. So we'll work on choosing to do it when we get back there. But what I got him to see was that in the moment when that bad thing happens, it's not a reflection of your entire existence. It was this one small thing. One small thing might have catastrophic, repercussions, and I'm not diminishing that. What I'm saying is that bad stuff will happen, but you need to find the actual cause of the bad thing, establish a plan to correct it when the time is right, and understand that the time is not now. You're being evaluated now. So we're just seeing where you're at. And we saw that, in that situation, we were lacking. Then I'm like, okay, if you have to do that over the next 3 courses here, and this goes back to balancing perceived skill and actual skill. You thought you were this good. You were proven to be this good. Understand the lesson that you just taught yourself, and don't try to perform here the rest of the day. Perform where you've been shown that you're actually at, and perform right there. Cool thing is we don't have any more of that to do today. And if you just do what you have been doing for the last 9 stages, you'll win by 12 points because you've been winning by 4 coming into that, right? So something bad happens, I respond, I don't react. I understand what the actual problem was, and I take as long as it takes to truly understand what the problem was. Then I write down on one side of a piece of paper what the real problem is, right? And then on the other side of the piece of paper, I write down what I'm going to do to correct that deficiency when the time is right, and then I put it away. So it allows me to make a mistake, understand the mistake, turn it into an opportunity to improve myself, and it allows my brain to understand that will happen in the appropriate time, which is not right now, and that allows me to move on. And then the next thing I do is I start preparing for the next event, whatever that might be, whether it's a shooting stage or the next training event or whatever it is. But that process, that guy also ended up winning by like 25 points.
Nice.
He went from a freaking spiral to coming out of it. So like, not saying, I mean, he did it. It wasn't just because of that, right? But that talk right there, if I could give that talk to myself when I was, a young guy, man, it would have changed my life, because overcoming bad things that will happen is, in my opinion, one of the most difficult things, because really what it is it's an imbalance of your perceived skill and actual skill. And your brain has been faced with objective data that you're not as good as you think you are, which really means you aren't the person that you believe yourself to be. So it's a attack on your core self.